It's exactly 8:08 a.m. 8:03. My eyes are bad. On Thursday, December 14th, 2023. It is 27 degrees in Boston right now, as you can see. Says now it's going to be 30 at 9 a.m. Wow, it's going to really warm up today. The high today looks like it's going to be 36 degrees. And that's going to hit at around 2 p.m. There's no heat in this unit. There hasn't been any heat in this unit for weeks and months and pretty much almost 2 years now, aside from a couple of weeks this past November when the heat reached close to 90 degrees. This went on for 10 days before the Greenville group finally shut the excessive heat off in this unit. And instead of turning it down to a reasonable temperature and level, they completely shut it off. So I've had to have the burner on my stove going all night. And I'm also running the hot water. But running the hot water, interestingly enough, causes it to smell like sewage. So when you turn on the hot water from this tap, it smells like sewage. I just went down the hall to the common bathroom. As you can see, I have the door open because I'm expecting a pest control inspector at around 8 o'clock this morning. They usually show up around 8 or 8:15. So I've actually cleared out some boxes as they requested and got things off the floor. There's a bunch of stuff on my bed, but the floor is clear because the pest control is showing up. But there's no fumes or odors of anything in the hallway, and there's been nonstop marijuana fumes coming from the area behind this kitchen sink right here throughout the entire night. That means that there's someone sitting in the bathroom of 78 as they normally do. It's a psychopath named Jasmine Arizari who's severely disturbed and has some really uncontrollable stalking issues, or maybe she's getting paid to do that. I mean, I don't know. You know, she's always in there. And Greenville keeps telling me it's not possible for her to be in there. Yes, it is. I'm not sure why they don't think that it's possible for people to pick locks, or maybe she has been provided with access to that area from a separate entry point somewhere else in the building. That's also possible. This is a really old building. It's got all kinds of weird little hallways and staircases and tiny bathrooms and weird corners and double walls and closets. There's a double wall in the unit behind this wall right here. It's a 3-foot thick wall that houses the pipes to this unit. So when the water from my kitchen tap stinks like sewage, but the water from the hallway, the bathroom down the hall doesn't, then that's an interesting phenomenon that doesn't really make sense. So I've actually been in and out of this hallway since about 5 a.m. So I have the hot water running in here and it doesn't smell like sewage at all. The water from this tap is always perfectly fine. It never smells weird, but the water from my tap does. And it's been stinking like sewage throughout the entire morning, and that's why I'm running it. I'm trying to clear out whatever kind of sewage might be seeping into the pipes of my kitchen sink, or maybe it's being deliberately somehow leached into the pipes to my kitchen tap. It stinks right now. It smells like somebody flushed a toilet. That's the hot water. Then when you turn the cold water on, it gets really gritty and sticky, and it feels like you have glue in there. Sometimes the cold water smells like fish, so that's weird. Water shouldn't smell like anything except for maybe chlorine, but there's absolutely no chlorine smell coming from the water from this tap. Instead, it stinks. Pretty much both taps, the hot and the cold, have different smells or odors, which means that there's something in the pipes. Because again, the water from the bathroom down the hall does not smell like anything. Even when I run it for a few minutes, it doesn't smell like anything. So there's some kind of nasty toxic substance somehow leaching into the pipes that go to my kitchen tap, but not to the pipes that go down to the bathroom down the hall. At the same time, there's been someone just filling this entire corner with marijuana fumes. So even though there's no heat in these baseboards and it's 27 degrees right now, no heat. These baseboards are ice cold. And again, as I keep saying, this is metal. It's some kind of steel. It's not even aluminum. If there was any kind of heat in these baseboards, I would not be able to leave my hand on them for very long because metal is a conductor substance. And as soon as there's heat in the pipes that's underneath right here, that pipe, as soon as there's heat in that pipe, these baseboards would heat up very rapidly. That's the whole point of having them covered with metal, is to expand the heat that comes out of the pipes, right? I mean, that's what these little vent things are supposed to do, cause the heat to become, the surface area that distributes the heat is greater when you connect these baseboard metal coverings to the pipes. If it was just simply a small pipe, the pipe wouldn't heat as much as these expanded area baseboards do. So there's no heat right now. Nothing. Cold as ice. No heat, and it's 27 degrees out. And oh my God, there's like massive amounts of marijuana smoke coming from this wall right here. But there's no marijuana smoke coming from the hallway because nobody stands outside of my door smoking marijuana in the hallway long enough to for it to fill this entire corner. So again, I've had to open the window about 1.5 feet, even though it's 27 degrees out, just to ventilate this space, because there's a psychotic sex offender, registered psychotic sex offender, malignant cyber criminal, and severely mentally disturbed psychopath named Jasmine Arizari, who keeps literally filling this corner right here with marijuana fumes from behind this wall, because she's a nut job. And my entire bathroom, I've had to close the door to this bathroom because the bathroom smells even more intensely of marijuana. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. It's like pot party in here. I mean, it's such an ongoing breach of habitation, health and safety issues. Unit 78 is completely empty. I was in there just maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, middle of November, when maintenance was in there. They were just, I don't know, doing some work. And I walked in there, asked them if I could take a look. There's absolutely nobody and nothing in there. There's no furniture, no clothing, no personal items. And as of 2 days ago, there was a notice left on that door for the last 2 weeks. So if it was actually legitimately occupied by anyone, that notice would not have been left on the door to that unit for 2 weeks. But what I'm realizing is there's a separate entry point to the double wall that is between the living area of Unit 78 and the wall of my shower stall. It is a 3-foot thick wall. It's the first thing you notice when you walk into Unit 78 is that there's this massive 3-foot thick wall with no entry point in Unit 78. The entry point to the area inside of that wall is obviously somewhere else in the building. And the psychopath who lived in Unit 78 for 9 of the last 10 years obviously knows how to access the area that is inside that wall, which holds the pipes to this unit. That would explain why the water stinks like sewage. Intermittently, it's not all the time, but it stinks like sewage when I'm trying to use it to clean things like wash my teeth or brush my teeth or, wash my face. I can't do anything with this water that would involve putting it in my mouth or on my face because it stinks, and that's when it starts to stink. So it's almost like there's some kind of a pump or a valve attached to the intake pipes to that tap that cause the water that come out of it to stink like sewage. And the cold water is really gritty and sticky, and it intermittently smells like fish. I'm just standing there and smelling it. And why does it smell like fish? First of all, I don't eat fish. I haven't eaten fish in like weeks and weeks. It's the holiday season, so it's, I've been eating turkey mostly and stuff like that. So why does the water to my kitchen tap intermittently smell like fish and like raw sewage? Like it's coming straight out of a toilet? Because the Greenville group is permitting a psychopath and apparently quite talented criminal to somehow access the water that goes into this tap. It's very easily done if you have access to the pipe. You just puncture holes in the pipe with a very simple device called a saddle valve. And you can buy a saddle valve at any hardware store for $12, $15. And again, because there's a 3-foot thick wall between my shower stall and the living space of Unit 78. And inside of that, 3 feet is like the distance from where I'm standing to that door. That is plenty of space to hold a giantly obese person like Ms. Arizari, who apparently has been sitting in that corner, for hours tonight and smoking. And that's why my entire bathroom fills up with marijuana fumes. The fumes never come from the hallway, and they are so intense, again, that I've had to keep this door wide open my window 1.5 feet, even though it is 27 degrees outside, to ventilate the marijuana fumes that keep filling the space from the bathroom behind my kitchen sink. Greenville is a crooked slumlord crooked Russian slumlord. And because they're from a third world country where there's a lot of crime and corruption, they come here and they engage in the same crooked, illegal business practices over here that they do over there. And one of those business practices is to use criminals to harass tenants that they're trying to get rid of. And that's obviously a fact because this person has got to be getting paid. I mean, nobody in their right mind would be on my ass 24/7, sitting behind that wall or somewhere behind the wall of my shower stall in the area of Unit 78. So within the premises of Unit 78. I don't know exactly where she is, obviously. But all I know is that she likes to make her presence known by filling this entire corner right here with marijuana fumes. And no, the fumes do not come from below. They have always occurred independently of whether or not there has been someone directly below or not. And on multiple occasions over the last few months, there have been workmen literally directly below, pounding and sawing away and hammering away in Unit 76 with nobody smoking in Unit 76, but massive amounts of marijuana fumes coming through this wall right here at the same time as the workmen were hammering and sawing and pounding away below. So it's not the creep directly below. He's a psychotic, violent, perverted thug, total scum, and has come up to this door multiple times and tried to break it down with rods and sticks and threw things at my head when I opened the door and pulled the phone out of my hand and ran off with it one time. And then I guess gave it back to a police officer who then dropped it off at my door. But that psychotic thug spends nearly all of his time making pounding noises beneath my bed. So he's pinpointing his own location. He's never pounding directly below the floor of my bathroom unless I'm actually trying to use a toilet. That's a whole other story. So the multiple breaches of habitation currently occurring in Unit 78 at 8:15 a.m. on Thursday, December 14th, 2023 are as follows. It's 27 degrees outside and there has been no heat in this unit for weeks and months, and pretty much since February of 2022 when Greenville shut off the heat to this unit. And the only time it was ever turned back on was for 2 weeks this past November when the heat rapidly went up to 85 to 90 degrees. There's also constant, overpowering, intense marijuana fumes filling my entire bathroom and the corner behind this kitchen sink from the area of the bathroom was 78 for hours. I've been awake since about 4:30. The fumes started coming through here at around 5 a.m. And again, they're not coming from below. They occur independently of anything that's going on below. The thug in 76 constantly makes pounding noises beneath my bed when I do certain things, when I'm lying on my bed, but not others. He does not smoke for hours directly below my bathroom. That is a psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry. She's a complete off-the-rails, severely disturbed, mouth-breathing nut job who also seems to have quite a bag of criminal tricks up her sleeve, including tampering with the water to my kitchen tap because that water stinks like sewage. It smells like fish. It has a gritty, sticky residue. And again, as I just demonstrated, the water from the tap in the bathroom down the hall, just 30 feet away, does not stink like anything. And if I want to drink water from a tap, I have to go down the hall to the common bathroom to get it. And then the other breaches of habitation in this unit, an ongoing rodent problem that hopefully the pest control inspector will fix when they arrive here this morning. I'm presuming sometime within the next hour.